We need kartal players if you know how to play. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. গৌরাঙ্গ বলিতে হবে পুলক শরীরা হরি হরি বলিতে না জ্ঞানে পাবেনি। গৌরাঙ্গ বলিতে হবে পুলক শরীরা হরি হরি বলিতে না জানে বাবেনীরা। কবে নিতাই চন্দের করুণা হইবে সংসার বাসনা মোর কবে তুচ্ছ হবে। বিষয়াচর্যা কবে শুদ্ধ হবে মান কবে হাম হেরাব শ্রী বৃন্দাবন। রূপ রঘুনাথ পদে হইবে আকুতি কবে হাম বুঝব সে যুগল প্রীতি। অরূপ রঘুনাথ পদে রাহু মোরয়া প্রার্থনা করো এ সদা নরোত্তম দাস। Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Radhe Radhe Govinda, Govinda Radhe, Radhe Radhe Govinda, Govinda Radhe. Radhe Radhe Govinda, Govinda Radhe, Radhe Radhe Govinda, Govinda Radhe. Jai Nitai, Jaya Gaur, Jaya Nitai, Jaya Gaur. Jaya Sachinandan, Jaya Gaura Hari, Sachinandan, Jaya Gaura Hari. Gaura He, Gaura He, Gaura He, Gaura He. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Shri Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. So I can see. You look familiar. I know you, yes? Where do I know you from?
2 years ago, I was here. Now you are here. And I speak to you.
Okay, yes, yes. What's your name again? Gobinda Ballabha. You're disciple of Shripad Bon Maharaj? Yes. Okay. Now you've come back to Navadvip. Okay. Good. So we are continuing in our study of Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj's classic, incredible book, first book printed in the English language that he spoke in English. It's called The Search for Sri Krishna, Reality the Beautiful. So, because his Disappearance Day festival was on Sunday. So, on Tuesday, our class was beginning to read the beginning of this book. And so today we'll continue with that first chapter. We'll continue reading that book and trying to enter into the deep meaning of Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj's very, very high level, very deep, transcendental siddhanta and instructions. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Nama Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Bande Shri Gurun Dinataranam Vancha kalpaturubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Namo Mahabhajanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Chise Namah. Nityanandam Namastubhyam Premananda Pradayane Kalo Kalamashanashaya Janava Pataye Namaha. Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sude Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Brindai Tulsi Debai Priyai Keshavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavachai Namo Nama. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. First of all, I'm offering my unlimited Dandavat Pranams and my Shraddha Pushpanjali at the lotus feet of my most worshipable, beloved Gurudev, Nitya Leela Pravishta, Om Vishnupad Paramahansa, Ashtottara Shata Shri Srila, A.C. Bhaktivedanta, Swami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada. And then I'm offering my same unlimited Dandavat Pranams and my Shraddha Pushpanjali at the lotus feet of my most worshipable beloved Siksha Gurudevs, Nitya Leela Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa, Ashtottara Shata Shri Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj, and Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Ashtottara Sata Sri Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. I offer my Dandavat pranams at the lotus feet of all of my Sri Sri Rupanuga Guru Varga. And I offer my Dandavat pranams to the lotus feet of all of my Siksha Guru Varga. And I offer my Dandavat pranams to all the Vaishnavas and to all the Vaishnavis. So the first chapter of this book, compiled from Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj's direct English katha. So the first chapter is titled Krishna Consciousness, Love and Beauty. So the topic of this chapter so far has been how Krishna consciousness and beauty and love are the topmost achievement for the living entities. And just a few of his words on that first chapter, he's telling us what is Krishna consciousness. He's asking the question, what is Krishna consciousness? That he says Krishna consciousness means real love and beauty. These two things. Real love and beauty. He says that real love and beauty, it must predominate. It must be the predominating factor. Real love and real beauty. As opposed to selfishness and exploitation. The real love and beauty must predominate, not selfishness and exploitation. So he says that generally whenever we see beauty, we think that beauty is to be exploited. Isn't it? In this material world? All the human society are looking at the opposite sex. Oh, how beautiful. I would like to possess that person. I would like to use that person for my sense gratification. That's called what? Exploitation. It is mine. I will use it for me. That's called what? Is that called love? No. It's called what? Lust. Just in case you didn't know, it's called lust. And lust is not a good thing. But guess what? Where does that come from? Everything in this world has its origin in the transcendental reality of the spiritual world. Does it not? There's nothing existing here which is not existing there in its pure form. This is the reflection, upside down. Upside down reflection, like a tree on the water is upside down, reflected. So everything within this material world is an upside down reflection of the original spiritual reality. So what does that mean? That means that there is also all of these sentiments and emotions that we feel, that we experience here in this mundane world. It is existing there in its original form, in its pure form. Pure. Nothing there is contaminated by anything mundane. Not a single trace of mundanity is there. Not a single speck. It does not exist there. Everything there is pure. completely pure, transcendental, full of sweetness and full of beauty and full of love, true love. Everything there. That's actually our real home. Just in case you're a little confused about that, that is our real home. When I say that, who am I referring to? When I say our real home, who am I referring to? Huh? Yes, all the living entities. But am I referring to the living entities in the lower species of life? Yes. Because those living entities in the lower species of life currently are just simply there in a material body because of their bad karma. So they're suffering. And the human beings, some of them are in suffering conditions and some of them are in enjoying conditions, but all of them are ultimately suffering. All living entities are suffering. And while they are here, they want to make their home here. The human beings especially. You know all the wars that are going on? All the wars between this country, that country, this country, that country. Just like endless. This country wants to attack that country. What is it all about? It's all about I, me, mine. False ego. This land is mine. No, it's not. It's mine. Oh, you think it's your land? Okay, then we will fight. So, in this material world, there is the illusory energy of Krishna. Maya. Do you know the meaning of this Sanskrit word Maya? Ma and Ya. 2 syllables. Do you know what that means?
What is?
Ma means not. Ya means this. Ma, ya, not this. What does that mean, not this? That means that what you think this is, no, it is not. Because everything is formed in this world and shaped from the material elements. Yeah? Earth, water, fire, air, ether, like this. All of our bodies are also formed from these material elements. And then we also have another body which is formed from the 3 subtle elements. Mana, buddhi, ahankar, mind, intelligence, false ego. That false ego is the most subtle. Why? Because it makes us connect our Atma with this temporary material elements. So what you think this is, it is not. It is an illusion created by Maya, the illusory energy of the Lord. Why? So that the living entities can have a means of trying to fulfill their material desires. That's the whole purpose of this material world, is to give the jivas who want to turn away from Krishna, who want to disconnect from Krishna, to give the jivas in this material world what? All opportunity. Krishna, he is very generous. He will give all opportunity to the jivas. If you want to try to enjoy in this material world, okay, I'll give you 8,400,000 different bodies in which you can try to enjoy one after the other after the other. And finally, I'll give you some opportunity, some mercy, because I'll give you human birth. And in your human birth, I'll give you even transcendental knowledge, sadhu sangha, and so forth. If you want to come back to me, if you're done, if you've tried, but your exploitation attempts have not succeeded, of course they can never succeed, even if you go to the heavenly planets, from the highest living entity in the material world, Lord Brahma and so forth, all the way down to the lowest ant. All of these different situations are full of suffering and misery. But this suffering and misery is meant for a good purpose. Do you know what that good purpose is? That we realize, oh Krishna, I'm such a fool. I turned away from you. I've suffered endlessly in this material world. Now I want to come to your lotus feet and serve you. I've tried to serve my foolish mind and senses for many lifetimes, but now I want to come and serve you. So, as soon as the living entity wants this, Krishna actually makes it possible. How does Krishna make it possible? Because Krishna gives Sukriti, life after life. And in that accumulated Sukriti, now the living entity is developing an attitude toward a mood of goodness, and surrender. And in that way now, he tries to purify his existence. So the material world is full of lust, lusty desires by the living entities to exploit. The exploiter. This is our big mistake, is that we think we are the enjoyer and the exploiter. This is our illusion and our mistake. But here Srila Sridhar Maharaj is explaining that although we think that the beauty is for us to exploit, but in actuality, beauty is the exploiter. Try to understand that. You have to make a different adjustment in the brain. Beauty is the exploiter. And beauty is also the master to be served. And beauty is the controlling principle. But we think we should control it, we should exploit it. No, we cannot. We cannot. Now Srila Sridhar Maharaj goes on to his question about love. He says, and what is love? What is it? What is love? Love actually means sacrifice for others. That's love. Sacrifice for others. This is love. We should not think that this sacrifice, this conception of sacrifice, we should not think that this is to be exploited by us. No. Because who is the true recipient of that sacrifice? Who should receive that sacrifice? Is it our party? Meaning us human beings and so forth? That we should be the exploiter? That we should be the receiver of sacrifice? No. Then Srila Sridhar Maharaj says, we are in the group. Guess what group that we happen to be in? We are in the group of those who sacrifice themselves. Yes. He's talking about in the spiritual world. Our real position is to completely sacrifice ourselves. In whose group? It's called the predominated negative party. Mahabhav's party. Mahabhav. Yes. We are meant to sacrifice ourselves in that group. So the underlying principle of love, if you want to talk about love, but you don't include the conception of sacrifice in love, then it's not love. The underlying principle of love is sacrifice. If there's no sacrifice, it cannot be love. But then the question has to be asked, sacrifice for whom? For whom will we sacrifice? Who is the beneficiary? Who will benefit? Who will benefit from our sacrifice? Huh? So, love is the beneficiary. Did you hear that? Who is the beneficiary? Who will benefit? Love will benefit. Love is a person. Love is not a thing. Love is a person. And love will be the beneficiary of our sacrifice. So everyone should contribute to the center. Like I told the other day, in a circle, you have the pinpoint in the center of the circle. So, and we've often given the example that if you throw a stone in the water, it goes in the water, circles come out. Circles come out. And if you throw another stone in another place nearby where you threw that stone, also circles will come out. But what will happen? The two groups of circles will collide with one another. Understand? They will collide. And this will cause disruption. But if you throw one stone in the center of the circle, then another stone directly in the same center, and another, and hundreds and thousands, there will not be any competing circles of waves, you see. This example is used by our acharyas to explain the Krishna principle. How everyone is actually meant to sacrifice for him. Because why? Because he's the supreme enjoyer of all sacrifices. You see. So, everyone should contribute to the center, but no one should draw energy from there. Don't try to exploit the center for your purposes. No, only try to serve the center for his purposes. And what will happen? You will automatically receive all benefit. Because that's our function. So then Srila Sridhar Maharaj, he says, the famous 3 words. He often repeats these 3 words. Actually, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he wrote a poem, and he had these 3 words in his English poem. And what are these 3 words? Die to live. Die to live. What does that mean? In Srila Sridhar Maharaj's Katha, you will find this explained in many places. What does it mean to die? It means to allow our false position to continue. Our illusory position to continue. That I am attached to my body, to my house, to my relatives, to my friends, to my children, to everything that my body is connected with. This bodily conception of life, it should die. It's not saying that the body itself should die. No. It's talking about the bodily conception that I am this body. That must die. In order that what? In order that I can actually live. Because if I continue to be attached to this temporary body, then the body will die, I will get another body. And then again, that body will die, and I will get another body. So only death will continue. But if I give up this false, illusory belief that I am this physical body of these material elements, and I transfer that to the source of my very existence, that is Krishna. And my existence is the soul, the Atma. So if I allow the temporary material attachments of this world to die, then I can truly live. Understand? That's what it means. Die to live. Die to live. So with this mood, this spirit, we should combine together, and we should work for real love and for real beauty. We should work for real love and real beauty, combining all of our energies together and offering that to the Supreme Lord, who is the enjoyer of all of that. Then Srila Sridhar Maharaj says, and this beauty, the conception of beauty, beauty will be victorious in the world. Yes. It will be victorious in this world. Love will be victorious in the world. We will sacrifice everything in order to see that the flag, the banner of divine love, that banner of divine love, it will wave in the wind all throughout the world. That banner, divine love, it will flutter like a cloth flutters in the wind all over the world. Yes. Why? Because a particle, even a tiny little particle of what? Of that divine love. What does that divine love mean? Krishna Prem. He's not telling it yet. He's only talking about the English word love. But really love means prem. And that prem is so all-powerful and all-conquering that even a particle, little particle of that divine love, it can distribute real peace in this world. All the wars can be stopped, all of the exploitation, just with a particle of that divine love. It can keep peace in this world. It can distribute peace in all directions. You don't have to separately try for peace. Everyone is trying so hard for peace. Yes? In Ukraine, in Israel, in Bangladesh, everywhere you turn. People don't want to be slaughtered, killed. They want peace. And so everywhere persons are trying for peace, but they don't understand what is the formula. You know, in the 1960s, when Srila Prabhupada came to America, 1965 to be exact, the Vietnam War was going on at that time. You've heard of that war before? Vietnam? It's a little tiny country, not far from here, from India, Southeast Asia. Little tiny country. So, a war was going on, but that country was being used so that the big countries, America and Russia at that time, because Russia was communist, Soviet. So they were fighting together to conquer that little country. Why? Why did this Vietnam War go on for so many years? And And then America actually, they say that America lost the war. After I think it was 20 years. 10 years, okay, yeah. After 10 years. But what were they actually fighting for? Do you know? Well, first of all, they're fighting for control. Because any war is fought for control. Yes? Control of the land, control of the people, control of the resources. That's what the wars are going on for. By who? By the very rich elite banking cartel who want to own and control everything. So what was the Vietnam War about? They say, it was about capitalism versus communism. You know these two terms? Capitalism versus communism. And at that time, Russia was Marxist communist. But in actuality, no. It was two demon capitalists fighting against one another to control the resources of that place. And what were the resources? The opium fields. Nobody ever says that. Nobody talks about it. You know opium? Opium? Have you heard of opium before? Huh? Yeah. That's where all the poppy fields are. In that area. So the Vietnam War was fought in order to control that and to distribute that all over the world. Whoever does that will make billions and trillions of dollars. So people want peace. People want peace. But the demons don't want peace. They want war because they make more money. Because they can exploit more. And then gradually they can become more powerful, more rich. But what will happen to that big exploiter, that Mr. Gates or that whoever it may be, leaders of countries? What will happen to those exploiters? When they die, they will go into the body of a tiny little insect. And they'll have to remain in the cycle of birth and death for millions and billions of lifetimes. Because they thought that they're going to be the king, the exploiter. This is the truth of this material universe. You know that. There are two types of living entities in the universe. Krishna explains that in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 16. Do you know what the title of chapter 16 of the Bhagavad Gita is? Daiva Asura Yoga. That means divine and asura, demoniac. These two entities exist in this material world. But do they exist in the spiritual world? In Vaikuntha, in Goloka, or anywhere in the spiritual world, these two natures? No. No, only divine nature. But for the living entities who want to go against God, okay, you can become a demon. Krishna gives opportunity. But he also tells there that for the demonic persons who want to deny the existence of the Supreme Lord, what do I do? Krishna says, what do I do to them? I place them down in the lowest species of life and they can never approach me. So what is the solution? Because the demoniac are always trying to exploit. And they become very powerful in the modern age through technology and everything that they can exploit. You know? They want AI, they want robotics, they want all these things to serve them. And they want to exploit every living being. So, but the people, they want peace. The general mass of people, they don't want war. They want peace. So, how can that be attained? Just a particle of this divine love It can keep peace. It can distribute peace in all directions. And then he says that just like soldiers are fighting on a battlefield, any soldiers are fighting on battlefield. Right now, I just saw in the news how Ukraine, already 700,000 of their young men have died. 700,000. And they're running out of bodies. They're running out of young men to have in their military. So what are they doing? They've been doing it already for a long time. They're forcibly catching young men, or even older men now. It's not just limited to the younger, because there's not that many of them left. They've all left the country. They've fled away. But now they're catching old men. Now they're catching even people who are handicapped. They can't pass a physical examination. And what are they doing? They're grabbing them and throwing them into a van and forcing them out onto the battlefield. You see? This is the reality of this material world. So, but they will keep on fighting because the wealthy are becoming richer and richer. And who has purchased all of this land in the Ukraine? Some of the most fertile land in the whole world. Who's purchased it? BlackRock. The big entities who own and control everything throughout the world. They've purchased that already during this war. And after the war, whenever that may be, they're just going to control and exploit it for their purposes. So what is the solution? The solution is, he's telling here, is to be like fighting soldiers for Krishna. That means to dedicate, just like a fighting soldier has to completely dedicate their life on the battlefield. They have to give their lives. Why? So that their fellow countrymen, they will benefit in the future. So the soldier, he's ready to die. He's ready to die for this, you see. So, but Srila Sridhar Maharaj is saying, just like such fighting soldiers, we should sacrifice our lives. And we should work to bring real peace in this world, for everyone. Real peace for everyone. So in Vrindavan, which is the land of Krishna, then there, in Vrindavan, the standard of sacrifice is unlimited. There's no limit at all. There's no limit. Oh, we can't sacrifice. We can sacrifice up to this point, but not beyond that. No limit in Vrindavan. The devotees who are there in Vrindavan, they are willing to risk everything for Krishna. Yes. You want to go there? To Vrindavan? Then you have to do it here first. Here you have to do it. You can't just go there because you're still exploiting. So you have to give that up and you have to be exploited by Krishna. And then gradually you can go there. You can enter into that land when you're ready to completely sacrifice. Yes, so if that principle of sacrifice is enthroned, if that principle of sacrifice is placed on a throne and worshipped, then peace will automatically follow. You don't have to separately try for peace. So, therefore, Srila Sridhar Maharaj is telling that Krishna consciousness Krishna consciousness should be enthroned, placed on a throne, above all other conceptions. The Krishna consciousness should be placed on the throne above all other conceptions. Because all other conceptions, they are meant to be subservient to Krishna consciousness. All the other conceptions are meant to serve Krishna consciousness. And Krishna's own abode, where he lives, his Vrindavan. What is the ideal in Vrindavan? The ideal. Vrindavan is above all other ideals. In the theistic comparison, then the conception of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela, it is above all other conceptions. When you want to compare a theistic comparison, then the conception of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela, it is above all other conceptions. And there, in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela, the conception of theism, who is the supreme absolute truth, who is God, who is the ruler, the controller, that conception of theism in Mahaprabhu's Leela, it reaches its absolute zenith. Zenith means highest point, the highest point. It reaches the highest point in Mahaprabhu's Leela. And that is our highest goal. That is our highest goal. And we should go to that goal step by step. We should go to that goal. And in order to go to that goal, we should hear the explanation. What is that place? What is that goal? It should be explained how it is above all other goals. Then one must deeply think about it. Then one must accept it. And finally, that conception should be preached everywhere. It should be distributed everywhere. So, Atomic Death is the title of this next section. Atomic Death. So Srila Sridhar Maharaj says, without this, what we're discussing here, without this conception, then what sort of benefit are you expecting from your present engagement? What you are doing in your life presently, if you don't include this, then what is your expectation? What benefit will you derive? You know what benefit you'll get? Only death. Only death is awaiting you. That's all. If this conception is not embraced, only death is coming for you. And you are so proud of this scientific civilization. Yes, everyone's so proud. Oh, we have our screens, we have our communication device, everything we know about, like it's our mystic power. Just see how advanced we are. But you're very proud of this scientific civilization. You're boasting about it. So much you're boasting. Yes, just see how advanced we are. But death is awaiting you, whether it is atomic death or it is natural death. What does atomic death mean? Atomic bomb. It's waiting. Death is waiting for you. So you cannot cross death. You cannot. You cannot bypass oh, I'm just going to take a detour around death. No, you can't. So now Srila Sridhar Maharaj is quoting an English poem. This will not be easy for the Russian devotees to understand. But I think you have it there? You have that poem? What?
I'm looking,
You're looking what?
trying to find this place.
You don't know where I'm reading from right now?
This translation is completely, yeah, I know, first chapter.
Skip там.
First chapter.
На всех я ее след.
Yes,
26-я страница.
Okay. There is an English poet, Srila Sridhar Maharaj, quoting. His name is Thomas Gray. There are many, many British poets. If you study English literature, you'll find many poets, Shakespeare and many others, okay? So this Thomas Gray was a very famous poet. Srila Sridhar Maharaj had studied English poetry in university, and he knew all of these philosophy, poetry, everything. Now he's taking one little verse from this poem. What is the name of the poem? It's called Elegy in a Country Churchyard. Okay, so I'll have to explain this, the meaning of these words. You know, when people die, in most Western countries, what do they do with their body? Most Western countries. Yes, they put it in the earth. Yes? So that's called a graveyard, where there's many bodies. And you know, in the olden times, they used to have many of these graveyards right next to a church. Understand? Because the church is about God. These persons have died and now they're going to God, or they're going to hell, or whatever they may believe. All right? So if you see on the gravestones, you know the gravestone? It's a big stone, all different shapes and sizes, but they have the name of the person that he was when he was in that body. But the body's there, right? And usually it tells a few words about the person. Oh, he was a very good husband. Oh, she was a very good mother, or like this. Whatever, right? Elegy, that's called elegy. Like a very short glorification. So Srila Sridhar Maharaj is using this verse that I'm going to read right now to illustrate what he's been talking about, and that is death. He's going to illustrate in very nice English poetry. First of all, I'll read it, and then I'll break it down and explain it to you. The boast of heraldry, the pomp of power, and all that beauty, all that wealth e'er gave, awaits alike the inevitable hour. The paths of glory lead but to the grave. You don't understand, right? Because you're Brazilian, right? Brazil? What? Georgia. Oh, below Russia there. That Georgia. Oh, okay, I didn't know. You look a little bit like you could be from Brazil also. Okay, Tbilisi. I've been there twice. So now let me explain it to you. Here, first of all, the poet, Thomas Gray, he's saying that everyone is boasting. Like Srila Sridhar Maharaj just said. Boasting. Talking, oh, we are so advanced. We are very scientific. We are this, we are that. And especially the boast of heraldry. That means that, oh, we have accumulated so much wealth. We have accumulated, and we have become very powerful. The pomp of power. Pomp of power means that you become very pompous. Pompous means proud. The pomp of power. Oh, I'm very proud, I'm very strong. And then he says all of this, all of the beauty that we had in our life, we enjoyed so much beauty, we attained so much beauty, and we, with our money, with our wealth, oh, we acquired so many things, big houses, big cars, big this, that, bank balance. But guess what? Everything, all of that, each person in this graveyard did that. Understand? Each person who's enthroned below the earth, they all got a little bit of power. They all had some fame. They all had some beauty. They had some wealth. But despite this fact, all of these things that a person who's alive now, he's very proud of that. He's living right now. Oh, I'm so rich, I'm this, I'm that. But guess what? There is an inevitability. Do you know what inevitable means? It means it must come, it must happen. It is inevitable. And he says, all of that is waiting for the inevitable hour, the inevitable time, that hour, on that day, when what? You'll die. And where will you go? All your glory that you had in your material life, glory, what happens? It goes in the grave. Bas. This is Srila Sridhar Maharaj's use of an English poem. So Srila Sridhar Maharaj is telling that you don't care. You don't care for what? The greatest danger. You don't care. You're living your life. Oh, I don't care. Death. You don't care. To solve this greatest danger, to solve the problem of this greatest danger. And you say that you are very big thinkers. I'm a big thinker. I have such big thoughts. I have so much big philosophical. You think like this, that you are very great men. And you should command the respect of every society, that you should be the big man. But there is one problem. This is the same general problem. It's called an inevitable problem. And everyone here, every atomic particle even, is going to go to that inevitable problem. It's called death. It's called death. They will die. Muert, isn't it? Muert in Russian language. What? I can't. Say it in Russian. I was correct. Smert, right? Smert, death. That's the problem. And then Srila Sridhar Maharaj is saying, oh, you big scientist, you big, great, powerful man, what is your contribution? What have you contributed to solving this greatest danger? which is waiting to devour everyone. What have you done, big scientist, big men? What have you done to solve this greatest danger? Oh, every insect is facing this greatest danger. Every tiny little germ and virus is facing this greatest danger. So what is your solution to death? What is your solution to death? Have you taken any steps to solve that universal danger? Let's talk about this for a moment. Are we finding solutions to death in the newspapers? In the news reports? In the universities? How we can solve this problem and stop death? No. No. No one's talking about it. No. Everyone has to face it, but no one's talking about it. How to solve death. One time in the 60s, when my Srila Prabhupada he had started his movement, and it was going on for like 2-3 years. And he went to visit one university. The devotees, his disciples, had made an engagement that he could speak in a university to the university students. And in that gathering of university students, the professors were also there in a big hall. So Srila Prabhupada, he said, this big university here, which has so many different subjects, so many different areas of knowledge and thought and so forth, but I ask one question. Where is that department, that knowledge department, which can tell us what is the difference between a living body and a dead body? Do you understand the question? Say it in Russian, in the microphone.
В чем разница между мертвым телом и живым существом? Живым телом.
Yeah, Prabhupada challenged them. You have all different departments of different types of knowledge, but where's that knowledge department that can tell us what is the difference between a living body and a dead body? Even your medical department doesn't talk about that. You see? So they don't have knowledge. They only have material information, that's all. And the problems of life, namely, there are 4. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells the 4 problems of life that everyone must face. What are those 4? Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi. You know what that means? What does it mean? What does Janma mean? It means birth. Mrityu. What does that mean? Mrityu. Death. Janma, Mrityu, Jara. What does Jara mean? Old. You must grow old. Old age. Nobody wants to grow old. Everyone wants to be young. Yes? Yes? Do all ladies want to stay beautiful and young looking? Absolutely. They all want. Everyone wants to stay young. They don't want to grow old. But has anybody stopped growing old? Has anyone found the solution? No, not one person has found the solution of growing old. And then, Vyadi. Vyadi means what?
Fall sick.
Yes, sickness, disease. Vyadi means diseases. Body will become diseased. No one can stop. So, these are actually the true problems of life. These are the real problems of life. How to stop taking birth and dying again and again and again and again. How to stop the body from deteriorating and growing old. And how to stop suffering from so many diseases in the body. No scientists have solved these 4 problems. They're always boasting, oh yes, with our medical technology we will solve all the problems, don't worry. We will even solve death. They boast like that. Boasting, bragging, oh, we are so powerful, we will solve even death. But they cannot do. They never can do. You know what Srila Prabhupada used to say about these promises of these people? Yes, in our laboratory we will eventually discover how to never die. But no, not one person has succeeded. Not even Hiranyakashipu, the greatest, most powerful demon in the universe. He could not succeed. Even the people who want to go to the heavenly planets, because there you don't grow old. There's no old age there. And also you don't get diseases of the body in the heavenly planets. But even there's not actual, what you say, death. Like, you know, you're lying there, and then you die. No. You just have to leave. You have to make exit from the heavenly planets. And when you exit the heavenly planets, where do you go? Yes, you come back down to the earthly plane. Srila Prabhupada was on a morning walk one time in New York City. And you know how they lay the cement for like the sidewalks? Here's a big square, and then the next square, and then the next. They lay the cement when it's wet, and then the cement dries. You know, cement? They lay the cement, and then it dries. But in between each, there's a small little crack. In between each slab of cement. And there were there was some grass growing up. Little grass was coming up in between. So Srila Prabhupada, you know what he said? He said, you see here, Prabhupada pointed with his cane. You see here? These are living entities who had to fall down from the heavenly planets. And then they had to take birth as grass, or they had to take birth as, you know, other, like wheat and plants like that. And they had to, then in that form, they would become eaten by a human being, and especially a male human being. And then their Atma would go into the semen of the man, and then would be injected into the womb of the woman, and then would form a material body. That's the process. So did they stop the process of birth by going to the heavenly planets? No. They still had to leave. They still had. Nowhere in the material world is the solution to these problems. The only solution is to go to our true eternal home, where there's no birth, no death, no disease, no old age. And everyone is eternally blissful, serving Krishna. That's the only solution. So give up all of your hopes and dreams, whatever you have in your mind and your heart. You don't have to suddenly change your situation, whether you are in family life, whether you are in renounced life. No, the main thing is that you give up your illusory conceptions and you take on true conceptions of who you are. That is required. If you do that, then this human form of life will be successful, very successful, very successful. But if somebody doesn't do that, they just wasted a very rare opportunity to get a human birth. And the majority of people now throughout the world in Kali Yuga are totally, absolutely ignorant. They don't know what the purpose of a human body is. The human body is only for self-realization, nothing else. And that's why in Vedic civilization, they didn't try so hard to develop so much technology and all of this. No, because all the technology is already within you. How to attain your eternal relationship with the Supreme Absolute Truth. That technology is already within you, you see. So, Srila Sridhar Maharaj is saying, what you are doing currently, what you are doing in the present time, it's called exploitation. That's what you're doing. You're trying to exploit. And you are also encouraging that you are inviting that you will have to leave this body and go to a lower body. That will be your reaction. That will be your reaction to exploitation. So this is very important conception. Exploitation is what? Just like when you go to a bank, you want to borrow money from a bank. You want to take a bank loan, okay? Because you want to spend that money for your purposes, right? But what do you have to do? You have to pay it back. This material world is like that. It is the land of exploitation. So, just like a bank, when you take a loan, you have to pay that money back. You took $1,000 loan, now you have to pay back $1,000, but you also have to pay interest. Every month you have to pay 10%, which is $100. So every month you have to pay $100 until you pay back the money. The material world, Srila Sridhar Maharaj has said, he compares it to this, that it is the land of loan. It is the land where people are living and exploiting. But they don't know, they don't realize that the reaction is they'll have to pay back all. It's not free. Not free, ever, 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 ever. Every single action that we do is a reaction. But only the actions that we perform for Krishna, they have no reaction in this world. That's a big topic. In the Bhagavad Gita, there are many, many, many chapters talking about this topic. Krishna is talking about to Arjuna, because Arjuna was afraid that if he killed his relatives on the battlefield, he would get what? He would get a reaction. Yeah. But Krishna educated him. And he told him, no, Arjuna, if you fully surrender to me, then I will take care. There will be no reactions. So in this way, yes. Now we have read a little bit further in Srila Sridhar Maharaj's Katha. And our next class will be, let me just check the calendar for a second. Our next class will be on Sunday, as usual. Today is the Thursday, the 8th of August. And then on Sunday, we will have on the 11th of August a class. Then on the following Tuesday, the 13th of August, we'll have another class. Then on the 15th of August, we'll also have another class. And then after that, on the 16th, is the beginning of Julan Yatra. And the 17th is Srila Rupa Goswami's disappearance day, which we will have definitely on that day. It is on a Saturday. So instead of having our Sunday class on the 18th of August, on the 17th of August, we will have Srila Rupa Goswami's celebration. So that's basically the next 2 weeks. Today is the 8th, and then that's next week. And at the end of that Julan Yatra, on Monday is the final day of the Julan Yatra festival. Monday is also the second month of Chaturmasya. It is the Purnima day. And guess whose appearance day it is? Huh? Yes, it is Baladev Purnima. Yes. So we will celebrate that on the Monday instead of on the Sunday. So like that. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj Hari Katha Ki Jai. Shri Krishna, Search for Shri Krishna Reality the Beautiful Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Shri Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Om Vrindai Tulsidev Bhai Priyai Keshavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavachai Namo Nama Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubheva Cha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. All glory to the assembled devotees. Vsya slava savrafyam sya priyadanim.